There's my sweet people. I have missed y'all. Let's just get started. I don't know what we're doing. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be spicy. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be spicy. Don't know what's happening, but I know I'm gonna start with this. This is the Youthforia Pre-Game Primer. Do a pump of that. And we'll work this on top. So remember, I've already done all of my skincare. And with this primer, I love the way makeup wears with it. But it also creates a barrier between your makeup and your skincare. It kind of locks in your skincare. Go read about it. It's really cool. Okay, so I got this palette. They sent this over a couple days ago, and I'm loving these cool tones through here. Even this shade, it's so pretty. So I think we might go this route. I've really been into cool tones lately. So let's start with some clean canvas. But just to really cool it down, I'm gonna grab something else, but let's just start with this. And I'm actually gonna apply a little bit less on my lid. I'm not gonna focus the product there, and you're gonna see why in just a second. I'm gonna layer something else on top of it. Here he comes. He's probably coming to steal my Gene Bean. Oh good, he went the other way. He's snickering. He's snickering. So now I'm gonna grab this Artist Color pencil from Makeup Forever. This is the shade Endless Cacao. It's very cool toned. And I'm gonna take this and just kind of apply it from my lid to my crease just to make sure everything's really nice and cool. So you might be thinking, why didn't you just use an eyeshadow? Well, the reason why is because you get really beautiful dimension when you layer pencils and powders and all of these different textures. You get such a different dimension. Now you can just use eyeshadow, but for me, the way that I see textures, I prefer to layer different products. And make sure you take this color out of the fold. I didn't want to hide it in my crease. We're going to use it to transition later, so make sure it comes right out of the fold. That means when you completely relax your eye, you can see it above the lid. Now we're going to take our finger, kind of smooth over it, make sure it's melted into the base. You can kind of smooth out the top too. We're still going to add eyeshadow, so don't worry about it looking blended at this point. Okay, so now we're going to grab this shade here called Undress. It's very similar to the eye pencil, so I'm going to pick that up twice. I don't mind having quite a bit of product on my brush. You will notice it's only on the one side. From here, I'm going to start to tap that into my crease, and from there I'm going to start to tap it up towards the brow bone. So I'm kind of setting the crease first, and then we'll start to transition it. That's a really nice, pretty, super pretty cool tone shade. And if you're new here and you're wondering about the pressing technique, I find that when you press your shadow in and you transition it this way, instead of swiping back and forth, you get the smoothest transition and blend ever. I can't even do my eyeshadow the other way. And this brush here, the E28, was actually designed for this exact technique. And if you don't have it, you might want to grab it. It's also the softest brush. It honestly feels like Jean's little soft belly. So I'm also going to kind of extend it, and I really want it to be sharp, but we're not there yet. I only say that because I'm going to bring that, we're still using that first shade. We're gonna bring it pretty far over, that way we can extend it later and really sharpen it. Still pressing though, still pressing. I also want to mention, I know cool tones are scary. I feel like so many people feel that they don't look nice in cool tones, but you kind of have to wait till the very end. I'm talking the moment you're putting on your lipstick, it comes together. Cool tones are not pretty until the end. They aren't. I don't know what it is, but once you're finished, it's magic. So I'm gonna grab this shade, and we just need a little bit of that. You can see it right there on the brush. And I'm gonna start to press that into my brow bone. And this will just kind of continue to blend the very top part of that shade we just laid down. Now we're gonna grab this shade on the tip of the brush, and I'm gonna relax my eye, and I kind of just wanna shade through here. Ooh, that's nice and pigmented. And then I'm gonna shade it up towards the brow for some lift. So now I'm gonna grab this shade, and I'm gonna grab my E28 again. I'm swiping it on Sheila. So I'm gonna grab quite a bit of this, See it there? And then we're gonna press it into the lid, and then I'm gonna pull it. Ooh. Press it and then pull it. And using the side of this brush, kind of acts like a fingertip. It distributes it really nice and evenly, quickly. Also keep in mind that I just use this brush for this entire eye look. Kind of cool, right? Also want to mention this. Ever notice that I leave my lash line here bare? And the reason why is because when you're using a shimmer, it's harder to go over that shimmer with an eyeliner. Whether it be gel, liquid, any kind of eyeliner, it has a tough time going over shimmers. So if you can remember, leave right through here, or where you're gonna place that liner, leave it bare. Okay, so I absolutely love this color. It's beautiful, it's pigmented, it's fantastic, but I still want it to be a little bit cooler. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna grab a silver eyeshadow. This one is from Natasha Denona. This is a kind of an older formula. I remember when they were in this. I'm not sure if she still has these, but the shade is just called Aluminum. So I'm gonna pick that up on my brush, and then from here, I'll start in the center, and then I'll kind of feather it over this way, feather it over this way. And what it's gonna do is just gonna cool down any kind of bronze. I want it to be a little bit more taupey. I know most of us gravitate towards warm palettes, even I do, but if you kind of want to add a little bit of that cool tone, just buy a single silver eyeshadow. You might already have a silver eyeshadow, but when you place that on top of a really warm bronze, you're actually going to cool it down, and it's going to be really pretty, really taupey. Just give a little bit different dimension. You can still see that the warmth is there, but you're seeing that cool tone. It's really fun. So yeah, silver shadow. It's fun. So I'm going to wipe off my brush one more time, and we're going to go back into the dark shade here called Mink. And I'm going to grab that on the tip of the brush, just like this. And from here, I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of press it into my lash line. I still want to do a wing liner, but this is a really good way to kind of hide mistakes. It's like a pre-hiding any mistakes. And just kind of connect it over here. We're also going to start to get that shape that we're going to go for. So I have MAC Black Track here on the back of my hand. I always scoop it out, because if you leave the pot open even for a minute, it will dry out. So it's best to just scoop some out, put it on the back of your hand. I'm going to pick that up on an E26, and then we're just going to do a wing. I'm back into the wing, y'all. The big, thick, spicy wing. What are you doing, cat collector? No. Ooh, gotta keep an eye on him. He's the Gene Bean Snatcher. Okay, so now we need some micellar water, and we're gonna grab that on a C30, just one little tiny drop of the micellar water, minus the Gene Bean here. And then I'm picking that up there with my concealer brush, and from here, we'll just kind of clean that up. Super easy. And then you just kind of work that back in. Okay, so we're gonna pop on these lashes. These are from Cami Wynn. I'm going to tag the style. These are so pretty. Look how pretty that is. So we're gonna grab, oh Lord have mercy. We're gonna use this one today, and I actually had to get a darker shade. They sent over a darker shade. This is medium 2R. My other one just got way too light for me. And there it is. So we'll just kind of pop it on. While Gene snores, we gotta listen to the little boy snore. If y'all haven't tried this one yet, it is so good. The texture is like nothing I've ever tried. We're gonna apply it with my C41. And it just melts into the skin, and it truly blurs texture. I know you're thinking that I don't really have texture, but I do have pores, and it does just fluff right over them. I love this one. Okay, moving on to concealer, this one. Now I need to get another shade in the KVD so I can compare, because Light 109 is the one I was wearing, and it's way too light now. But this concealer. So I take 3C, which is basically my skin tone, and I'll do a little bit of that one. I'm telling y'all, and this is a brush. I just love everything about this concealer. I did not expect to love it this much. And then I take the shade 2CR, and then I'll just put it next to that. And that one's lighter and peachier. So if you've been with me a while, I used to love, 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 love. I'm talking about 3 years ago, the Kylie concealer. Honestly, that formula was incredible. And I loved everything about it, but it was discontinued, among other things. But this formula is like that, but better. I use the Beauty Angle Concealer Brush, and I used to actually mix the Kylie concealers as well. And these colors are very similar to the ones that I used to mix. I could wear, you don't need to, I understand it's very pricey. 2CR I could definitely wear alone. And then with a pink powder it'd be fine, but for me, I really do enjoy mixing them. Since I already have both, I might as well. But 2CR is perfect for me. Ooh, and look what I got. I forgot to show y'all. So tomorrow, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the wear test tomorrow. I'm not only going to put it underneath my makeup, but I'm gonna check back in and kind of press it on top of makeup and then kind of check back in and see how that wears throughout the day. So we're gonna use it as primer and we're gonna use it as kind of a touch-up. I'm very excited. So apparently this is what they wear on Euphoria. So many rumors. So we're using the Huda Cherry Blossom today. I'm still trying to decide which one I like more. I can't choose. But I definitely like both of them. Let's just say that. Let's really work that in. And before I even go over here, I'm gonna grab my concealer brush once again, press the heck out of that. Even that little bit of time in between makes such a difference. Now let's go ahead and press that in. You just don't wanna let that concealer sit without pressing it back in with the concealer brush and then set it with powder. My skin looks like a filter. I look like a filter. So I'm gonna grab a C40, and this is the lighter shade in the Physicians Formula bronzer. The other day I used this one, which is the shade Baked, and it's a little bit darker, but to be honest, this raised part is lighter than what's in here. So I'm curious, let's try it out. We're gonna grab a C40, which I think I already mentioned, minus my stray hair. And we're gonna go right in. This one's very pigmented, so I mean, look how much it picks up. That's a lot. So I'm gonna do that really quickly. And then from here, start to build it up on the cheekbone. And I actually didn't set the outer perimeter of my face. Ooh, I need to hold that brush farther back. See, I catch myself doing that. But I didn't set, I'll kind of just set the rest of my outer perimeter with the bronzer. Blend that in. These are so pigmented. Some might even say too pigmented. You gotta be really careful with these. And you might have noticed me correct how I was holding it. If I hold it farther back, let me zoom out only because you can kind of see. If I hold it farther back, about right there, I'm actually gonna have more control and I'm not gonna disturb the foundation. I'm gonna be able to press better. You'll always notice I press, and that's because makeup it goes on in layers. And when you're doing things in layers, when you start to swoosh back and forth, you're going to separate it, you're going to lift it. It's going to go on the brush. Now this is the softest brush around. But that being said, if I was to still just do like this and do it repeatedly and do it aggressively, it's going to lift that makeup. That's also one of the reasons I wanted the length on the handles, because they're very comfortable in the hand. And you can just really press with them, but you get that really nice precision. Just want to say it one more time, love the bronzers. I love them, but they are pigmented. So even if I go in like this, it's a lot, but it's good. But if you grab one, be careful, it's pigmented. How pretty is this blush? Look at this. Look at it. It's from Laura Geller and the shade is Sunlit Rose. We're gonna grab this on a C41. And I think I'm gonna apply it kind of here, right behind, a little bit behind the apple of the cheek, and then up towards here. And these are really, really luminous. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 special with the highlighter there.